by not doing more to stop global warming. He said it at the Live Earth concert. When he appeared live with Neil Cavuto shortly afterward, he didn't back off. Take a listen.
Exxon Corporation and Southern Company have access to the best science on this. They know what they're doing. And what they've done instead is to deliberately deceive the American public about the reality of the largest national security threat that we face as a country and as a planet. They have put their private financial interests ahead of the interests of our country and of all humanity.
Deliberate deception, traitor, is he right?
That is an idiotic statement, and I think RFK Jr. ought to just be quiet. You know, people love, ever since 9/11, to pull out the traitor, the T word, every time someone disagrees with your view. And this is taking it too far. I'll tell you what's traitorous. Maybe we take up all of the airplane gas used by all of the private jets ferrying around all of the musicians that went to 9 different Live Aid concerts, probably enough gas to fuel a country for a month.
That's not a bad point.
Okay, maybe they're traitors, but overall, this is not an issue of patriotism. It's an issue of science.
Mark Tadgy, just a tinge of hypocrisy here?
I'd say there's a lot of hypocrisy here. Now, I know everybody's going to make little Bobby here into a punching bag, but he's right. Business is not putting what it should be behind this whole problem that's out there. They're paying lip service to this. And the only way that this is going to happen is either A, it's going to be mandated, or B, public opinion is going to turn against the large corporations.
So, Rich Karlgaard, mandated pollution standards are inevitable, is what Mark is saying.
No, I think Mark and RFK Jr. need to join a group called Apocalyptics Anonymous, where they admit their irrational fears of the world coming to an end. We've seen this story before. In the 60s, it was mass starvation with the population bomb. In the 70s, it was global cooling. In the 80s, it was nuclear winter. I mean, there will always be people who have this deep need to see the end of the world so that they can come up and offer the solution.
So, Quentin, is just hysteria is what Rich is saying.
We need to move Mitch to China.
Well, that's just not quite the way it is. Exxon itself says global warming is true, carbon burning has a lot to do with it, and we have to do something. The problem businesses have is they also have to execute to their quarter. And this is a problem that takes place over 10, 20 years. How do you square those two things? We're still trying to work through that.
Michelle, go ahead. Good to see you, Michelle.
Good to see you, David. And I think what RFK is doing is he's appealing to a crowd at a giant rock show where anything even remotely anti-establishment is going to be woo-hooed. He's following Kanye West and Sting. What else is he going to say? And as far as companies go, 22 companies signed a letter right before the State of the Union this year actually asking that the government mandate stricter energy controls and stricter environmental policies. So RFK is completely generalizing here.
You know, I would like to be paid $1 for every time a Republican called a Democrat a traitor or treasonous over the war in Iraq. But separate from that, RFK did engage in some,
many
a lot of them
words
did,
traitor.
many of them did, treason,
can't think of one.
unpatriotic. The thing of it is, RFK did engage in some overheated rhetoric that probably did more to add to global warming than all the cows in New Zealand. But the fact of the matter is he is right. ExxonMobil did fund about 43 studies. They paid $16 million to do this sort of a disinformation campaign about the science behind global warming. We need more clinical detachment about this subject. We don't need companies putting out disinformation campaigns.
So traitor is a hyperbole, but he makes some points.
I think RFK is right.
I got to tell you, we overlook the profit motive in the global warming debate. We overlook the profit motive inherent in a greenie group stoking fear to get more money in donations, and we overlook the profit motive in inventing technology that will fix global warming, and that will happen. We got 100 years. Companies are doing more than they've ever done before on this, and RFK is wrong.
Mark Tadgy, go ahead.
This is all the earmarks of the tobacco lobby. You know, smoking doesn't kill. So why people like Rich, I think we ought to move him to China, that has 6 of the most polluted cities in the world, make him sell his BMW, and then we'll put him on Fox News and see what he has to say about whether there's a problem
response,
with
Rich, real quick.
and greenhouse gas.
Yeah, it's a Lexus, not a BMW. But look, the problem isn't science. The problem is this computer modeling that people call science that is not science at all.